Welcome to the Disability and Access Training for Airport Staff. Welcome. We understand the importance of incorporating accessibility into all aspects of the traveler experience. That is why the Chicago Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities and the Chicago Department of Aviation are continuously working together with the goal of making Chicago O'Hare and Midway International Airports the most accessible airports in the world for travelers with disabilities and their families. The Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. The vision of the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities, MOPD, is to make Chicago the most accessible and inclusive city in the world. MOPD is proud to partner with the Chicago Department of Aviation, CDA, to increase accessibility and awareness in our airports. Image 1, a photo of Chicago City Hall with people walking on sidewalks, crossing streets, and cars moving. Image 2, a one-story building with a sign that states Central West Community Center. Goals. After this training, participants will have an increased awareness of disabilities, increase ability to communicate with people that have different types of disabilities, increased knowledge of accessibility features at O'Hare and Midway. Disclaimer, this training is intended as a starting point for disability education rather than a comprehensive guide. Consult your agency's legal services as needed. Disability and accessibility. How to talk about disability. Use disability, disabled, avoid differently abled or special needs. Why? Disability and disabled are not bad words, however, avoiding these can add to stigma. Examples. My grandson has a disability. My dear friend, who is disabled, is bringing her service animal today. How to talk about disability. There are various respectful ways to talk about disability. 1. Person first language. Person with a disability. When unsure of how someone identifies, this is a good first approach. Examples include, where is the accessible entrance for my friend who has a mobility disability? We hired an ASL interpreter for the basketball player who is deaf. Another respectful way to talk about disability is 2. Identity first language. Disabled person. Examples include, I have an autistic daughter. I am a disabled artist. Another term to use is accessible. Avoid using the word handicap. Why? Handicap is a derogatory term, while accessible is a clear way of communicating that something is available for people with disabilities to use. Examples include, I parked in the accessible parking space. And, oops, I left my scarf in the accessible bathroom stall. The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, ADA, prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability. It applies to all services provided at airports and requires that all airports are accessible. Image 1, a square grid with 4 blue icons, each representing a different type of disability. The top left icon shows a white figure sitting in a wheelchair, symbolizing physical disabilities and mobility impairments. The top right icon features the outline of a human head with a detailed brain, representing cognitive or neurological disabilities. The bottom left icon shows 2 white hands forming a circle, representing American Sign Language, ASL, and communication assistance for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. The bottom right icon depicts a white figure walking with a cane, symbolizing visual impairments or blindness. Definition of disability. The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, ADA, defines a person with a disability as someone who 1. Has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. Examples include body, cognitive functions, movements, sensory functions, and tasks. 2. Has a history or record of such an impairment. Examples include cancer that is in remission, history of mental health condition, and traumatic brain injury, TBI. 3. Is perceived by others as having such an impairment. Examples include a physical difference, like scarring from a burn, or assumption about having a mental health condition. Introduction to disability. There are many different types of disabilities. Some examples of individuals with disabilities may include someone who is blind or has low vision, is deaf or hard of hearing, has a mobility disability, has a mental health condition, is neurodiverse, which refers to a difference in how people think, act, and behave. Neurodiversity includes people who have autism, ADHD, and intellectual, developmental, or cognitive disability, and more. Disability in the United States. 27% of adults in the United States, 61 million people, report living with at least one disability. 36% of adults age 65 plus report having at least one disability. 20% of adults in the United States report living with at least one invisible disability. An invisible disability is a disability that is not obvious from looking at someone. You could be serving someone with a disability at any time without knowing. Travelers with disabilities. People with disabilities have a total disposable and discretionary income of $511 billion. 96% of all travelers with disabilities indicate they have faced an accommodation problem when traveling, and 86% have faced a flight problem. 35% of people with disabilities chose not to travel at least 1 to 3 times a year based on accessibility. This shows that people with disabilities have the means and desire to travel, but many do not due to accessibility barriers. We'll cover those barriers in the next few slides. Barriers to travel for people with disabilities. Navigation barriers. Whether navigating the destination city or the airport, navigation barriers have been repeatedly reported as hurdles for people with disabilities. 8 in 10 or 82% travelers with mobility disabilities find navigating a destination to be a barrier to travel. 4 in 10 or 41% have had a problem with the availability of wheelchair-accessible vehicles, wave, or ride shares, and 39% encounter issues with out-of-order elevators in a subway or train station. Nearly 6 in 10 or 57% have experienced extended wait times for mobility assistance at the airport before or after their flight. Other barriers to travel for people with disabilities. Damage to mobility devices, such as wheelchairs or power chairs. If broken, lost, or delayed, travelers with disabilities may not be able to navigate or leave their accommodations. Over half or 52.2% of travelers with disabilities reported their mobility devices have been mishandled while traveling. Limited training. Airport staff have diverse backgrounds and varying levels of experience interacting with people with disabilities. More than 60% of people with disabilities stress the importance of additional training for airport and airline staff to assist people with disabilities. What is accessibility? Accessibility refers to the design of services, communications, and physical space to be available to and usable by everyone, however they encounter it. Accessibility in the airport could be providing a wheelchair to travel from the curb to the gate, visual information in addition to auditory announcements, typing notes on your phone to communicate, or wayfinding assistance for a traveler who is blind. Accessibility is important because it's the law under the ADA. It benefits everyone to ensure that all people, regardless of their ability, can interact with the information or services you provide. Airline Passengers with Disabilities Bill of Rights. The Airline Passengers with Disabilities Bill of Rights was published by the U.S. Department of Transportation in July 2022. This bill describes the fundamental rights of travelers under the Air Carrier Access Act. It applies to all U.S. flights, including those that begin or end in the U.S. The Act outlines a passenger's right to be treated with dignity and respect, receive information about services, as well as aircraft capabilities and limitations, receive information in an accessible format, including by website, accessible airport facilities, assistance at airports, assistance on the aircraft, travel with an assistive device or service animal, receive seating accommodations, accessible aircraft features, resolution of a disability-related issue. Travelers with disabilities. Serving travelers. Travelers with disabilities may need support throughout the entire process of the airport, including arriving at the airport, the check-in process, passing through security, navigating the airport, shopping in or eating, alerts, time to fly, baggage claim, leaving the airport. Airport navigation and resources. This section will walk you through the process of going through the airport and provide tips you should keep in mind when serving people with disabilities. A marker in the top right corner will indicate part of the airport process with color and text. If it is an airport resource, it will also be indicated in the upper right corner with an orange marker and text. Blue marker stating arriving at airport and below it an orange marker stating resources. General information. Accessibility information can be found at www.flychicago.org. Image 1, split screen image of O'Hare and Midway airports. Left side shows O'Hare with the control tower in planes, O'Hare in blue text above. Right side shows Midway with the Chicago skyline, Midway in red text above. A blue arrow is highlighting the O'Hare accessibility link and Midway accessibility link. Blue marker stating arriving at airport. Arrival information. Travelers with disabilities may arrive to the airports by personal car, public transportation, CDA/RTA, rideshare, PACE paratransit, wheelchair accessible vehicles wave, taxis, car drop-off, or rental cars. Arrival accessibility information can be found at flychicago.com. Blue marker stating arriving at airport. Drop-off or driving? Curb ramps and passenger loading zones are located throughout the drop-off areas. Both O'Hare and Midway have accessible parking spaces in their parking lots and garages. Not all garages have sufficient parking height for accessible vans. The list of heights can be found at flychicago.com. For more information, passengers can call the Parking Information Hotline. O'Hare, 773-686-7530 Midway, 773-838-0756. Blue marker stating arriving at airport. Shuttle buses. Airport shuttles to or from the parking lots, rental car companies, or airport transit system, ATS, are all wheelchair accessible through the use of lifts or kneel-to-curb and securement systems. Blue marker stating arriving at airport and below it an orange marker stating resources. Airport transit system at O'Hare. The ATS is a transportation system between terminals. It runs every 3 to 5 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Accessibility. Elevators at each platform. Train and platforms are flush for level boarding. Priority seating available. Announcements are audio and visual. Each platform has attendants and a blue sign next to an information button to contact the control room for assistance. Image 1, Blue O'Hare Airport Transit System, ATS, train with ORD in white letters and red Chicago stars on the side, traveling on elevated tracks. Yellow marker stating check-in process. Communication. People with disabilities may or may not self-identify to airport staff upon arrival. Depending on the disability, you may need to change how you communicate. Introduce yourself. This way individuals learn who you are, what your role is, and how individuals can identify your voice when you are speaking. Speak and write in plain language. This means that your message is clear, concise, and uses wording understood by all reading levels. Avoid using acronyms. Use symbols or pictures to aid in meaning. Repeat or rephrase when requested. An individual who is deaf or hard of hearing may let you know how they prefer to communicate, i.e. writing notes app on your phone, speaking, lip reading, or using sign language. Yellow marker stating check-in process and below it an orange marker stating resources. Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. O'Hare and Midway have partnered with Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program, a national program available at many airports that allows individuals to voluntarily share that they have a non-visible disability or condition. Lanyards, bracelets, hats, and other items with a green background and sunflower pattern help individuals show that they have a non-visible disability and may need additional assistance, understanding, or more time. Image 1, a person holding a green Hidden Disabilities sunflower lanyard decorated with yellow sunflower patterns. Attached to the lanyard is a green ID card with a large sunflower image and the words Hidden Disabilities in white and yellow text. Yellow marker stating check-in process and below it an orange marker stating resources. Lanyards are available at both airports. O'Hare, multiple locations. Information desks the lower-level baggage claim, unsecured side. Information desks throughout the terminals, secured side. Information desk multimodal facility, door 4. Midway, lower-level baggage claim area information desk and concourse B information desk. Image 1. A male traveler wearing a sunflower lanyard speaks with a female staff member at an airport information desk. A sign reads Hidden Disabilities, Sunflower Lanyards Available Here, with international flags in the background. Yellow marker stating check-in process. General information. Not all self-check-in kiosks are accessible for people who are blind or have low vision. Airline staff may need to read out loud, help with the check-in process, or assist with finding reservation numbers. Airline staff may need to assist travelers with putting tags on their bags or lifting bags to be weighed. Travelers may need to be directed to the location of a security checkpoint. Image 1. Illustration of a woman with long dark hair, wearing a yellow top and blue skirt, using a touchscreen kiosk. She holds a red purse in her left hand and is pressing the screen with her right hand. Green marker stating security and below it an orange marker stating resources. TSA Cares. TSA Cares is a helpline that aids travelers with disabilities, medical conditions, and others who require additional assistance during the security screening process. Travelers can call 72 hours prior to traveling with questions about screening policies, procedures, and what to expect at the security checkpoint. Travelers with accessibility needs or who have questions about the security process can ask a TSA officer or supervisor for a passenger support specialist who can provide on-the-spot assistance. For more information, call 855-787-2227, email TSA Contact Center at dhs.gov, or visit tsa.gov. Green marker stating security. Security checkpoint. When a passenger is going through security and does not respond to you, keep in mind they may have a disability, such as hearing loss. Make sure the person can see your face and mouth when communicating. Pull down a face covering, or wear one that has a window for your mouth so someone can read your lips. When trying to identify a bag's owner, describe the bag out loud. Example, whose bag is gray with a braided keychain? If someone identifies they are blind or have low vision, help them make sure they have all their items after going through the X-ray scanner. Ask and make sure you get permission before you touch someone or their personal device, which includes their cane, wheelchair, communication pad, and more. It is considered part of their personal space. Pink marker stating navigating airport and below it an orange marker stating resources. Traveler's Aid at O'Hare. The Traveler's Aid Office provides phone and email planning consultations before travel, as well as guidance and support to passengers during travel throughout the airport, including customizable social stories, prearranged services for people with invisible disabilities, as staffing capacity permits, prearranged practice experience for people pre-travel, as staffing capacity permits. Located in Terminal 2, past security. Office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pink marker stating navigating airport. General information. For travelers who are blind or have low vision, they may need wayfinding services, which is also known as guided assistance through the airlines. This is when an employee offers their elbow and provides directions out loud while they guide a person. Make sure the gate agent is aware of the person with a disability at their gate and which communication style that person needs in the event of a gate change or announcement. Image 1, black and white illustration of a woman with shoulder-length hair, wearing a striped shirt and pants, walking with a white cane. Pink marker stating navigating airport. Accommodations. Wheelchair and mobility services for passengers with physical disabilities are coordinated by each airline. Passengers can also request assisted guidance, which is assistance throughout the terminal without a wheelchair. Passengers should contact their airline prior to traveling to add this to their reservation, but it is not required in advance. For passengers at the airport who need assistance, you should refer passengers to their airline's nearest customer service or gate counter. For concerns regarding passengers with disabilities rights or services, refer to the airline's complaint resolution officer. Image 1, black and white illustration of a person sitting in a wheelchair, wearing a jacket and pants, with one hand raised in a waving gesture. Image 2, black and white illustration of a person sitting in a manual wheelchair, wearing a dark shirt and light pants, with hands resting on their lap. Pink marker stating navigating airport. Signage. Keep in mind that travelers may not be able to use signage to receive information. Announcements out loud when there is important information to be relayed, such as gate changes. New signage. When making new signs, use large print, size 18 to 24, sans serif font, and high contrast colors, such as black text on a white background. Have materials, such as menus, available in electronic format for people who use their phones to read information out loud. Add Braille for increased accessibility. Pink marker stating navigating airport and below it an orange marker stating resources. IRA, Visual Interpreter Services. Free at O'Hare and Midway, IRA is an app that can be downloaded on-site or before arrival to connect travelers who are blind or have low vision to a highly trained, remote agent. Using the app, travelers stream video from their smartphone camera, and the agent describes visual information to help with navigation or tasks. Travelers can use IRA to interpret schedules, locate seats, find restaurants, restrooms, and make connections. Image 1, a hand holding a smartphone showing a video call with an agent named Joseph. The screen displays a view of a bright airport terminal with rows of ceiling lights and travelers in the distance. The call duration is 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Pink marker stating navigating airport and below it an orange marker stating resources. Accessible bathrooms. O'Hare Companion Plus, Terminal 2, Gate F3, includes motorized passenger lift system, adult changing table, accessible showers, toilet and sink, emergency pull cord, grab bars, automatic operable door, accessed by lifting the phone next to the door or an online reservation system. Image 1, a man pushing a woman in a blue airport wheelchair toward a door marked "This facility is intended for people with disabilities only." Another man in a black jacket stands nearby, pressing a button on the wall. Light blue marker stating shopping or eating. Customer service. Individuals in an airport may need help paying for items. When requested, you may be asked to guide an individual's hand for where to sign, help tap or swipe a credit card. Always ask permission before touching or guiding an individual. Individuals may need help to reach items that are located higher up or on top of a high counter. The Grab Airport app is a food ordering app for airports. Menu items can be read out loud. Individuals can order online, without interacting with the cashier, then pick up at the counter. A green square logo featuring a lowercase white letter G in the center. Surrounding the G is a white dashed circular line resembling a flight path. At the top of the circle, a white airplane icon appears as if flying clockwise around the G. Dark orange marker stating alerts. Communication and alerts. People with disabilities are included in emergency and evacuation plans. In the event of an emergency, for O'Hare, call 773-894-9111. For Midway, call 773-838-9111. A visual paging system is available at Midway. This system displays visual messages on flight information display monitors. In the event of an emergency, this system will display emergency information. The complimentary visual paging service is available by calling 773-838-9660 or 773-838-9661, TTY. Light yellow marker stating time to fly. Time to fly. Each airline is required to assist passengers with disabilities in boarding, deplaning, connecting to other flights, seat accommodations, and boarding assistive devices per the Air Carrier Access Act, ACAA. The ACAA makes it illegal for airlines to discriminate against travelers with disabilities. The U.S. Department of Transportation enforces this law. Purple marker stating baggage claim. Finding baggage. Airlines are required to assist passengers with disabilities who need help with their luggage at baggage claim. A traveler may need assistance with carrying luggage, retrieving it from the carousel, or visually recognizing their bag. Travelers with disabilities should let their airline know ahead of time if they need assistance, and an attendant will meet them at the gate when they land. Image 1, illustration of 3 colorful suitcases, 1 yellow, 1 pink, and 1 blue, stacked together. A yellow sun hat rests on top of the pink suitcase. purple marker stating baggage claim and below it an orange marker stating resources. Self-service repair station. Both Midway and O'Hare have repair stations that can be used to quickly handle minor luggage, equipment, or assistive device repairs. Located in the baggage claim area in each terminal. The station includes mounted air compressor, 130 psi max pressure. Toolkit. Wheelchair charging unit. Image 1, wheelchair charging and repair station at an airport. A black panel holds a wheelchair charging station sign, a charging unit labeled Hyundai Charge, and various repair tools hanging on hooks. A blue sign above reads repair station. A black cushion bench is positioned nearby. Black marker stating leaving airport. Pickup or parking lot. Wheelchair accessible vans, wave. Taxis. You can request an accessible taxi by notifying the worker at the taxi lines. Rideshare. You can select a wave to pick you up on the lower level of every terminal by selecting Uber Wave in Uber settings or enable access mode in settings for Lyft. Rental cars. Some rental car companies provide hand-controlled vehicles. Companies request 2 to 3 days advance notice, and a list can be found at flychicago.com. Traveling with a service animal. Service animals. Recognized by the ADA, service animals help travelers perform tasks directly related to their disabilities. Service animals are different from emotional support animals, which are not covered under the ADA. There are service animals for diagnosed mental health conditions that perform a task for that disability. If the need for a service animal is not readily apparent, the U.S. Department of Justice says these two questions are permitted to be asked. Is the dog a service animal required because of a disability? What work or task has the dog been trained to perform? Green marker stating security. Service animals and security. Do not separate an individual and their service animal. Service animals do essential tasks, such as guiding individuals, alerting them to oncoming seizures, and retrieving medication. Allow the individual and the service animal to walk through security together or lead the animal through separately on a leash. Items that are necessary to maintain control of the service animal do not need to be removed. Keep in mind that there may be medication for the service animal or other necessary items that go through screening. Pink marker stating navigating airport and below it an orange marker stating resources. Service animals relief areas. Service animal relief areas, SARAs, are offered at both O'Hare and Midway. The purpose of these areas are so that service animals are able to go to the bathroom once within the airport, both inside and outside of security. Interior SARAs include a sink, relief pad, paper towels, and water hose. Exterior SARAs are gated with a latch. All animals must be accompanied and leashed by the owner. Image 1, white icon of a service dog wearing a harness on a blue square background, representing service animal access. Pink marker stating navigating airport and below it an orange marker stating resources. Locations of SARAs are subject to change with airport improvements. Updated information can be found on each airport's accessibility guide. Image 1, outdoor service animal relief area with artificial grass, surrounded by a black metal fence. A bench, trash can, and rocks are visible, with a glass building and an airport transit sign in the background. Airport, ADA, Coordinator. The Airport, ADA, Coordinator is responsible for ensuring that the airport complies with the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and other accessibility regulations. This includes addressing barriers to access, coordinating reasonable accommodations, and improving the overall travel experience for passengers with disabilities. If you have any questions or concerns about accessibility at the airport, please contact the ADA Coordinator for assistance. Contact information for the ADA Coordinator can be found on the unlawful discrimination poster placed around the airport or the ADA email. O'Hare, ADA Coordinator, ORD_ADA Coordinator at cityofchicago.org. Midway, ADA Coordinator, MDW_ADA Coordinator at cityofchicago.org. Image 1, poster titled Unlawful Discrimination in English and Spanish. It outlines that discrimination in airports based on race, color, national origin, sex, creed, or disability is illegal. It provides contact details for the Title VI Coordinator, Jasmine Terry, and ADA Coordinator, Sochi Rodriguez, along with the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, address. Logos of the U.S. Department of Transportation and FAA are at the bottom, along with small flags representing multiple languages. Additional accessibility information. For additional information on accessibility features at both O'Hare and Midway, please see the Airport Accessibility Guides. For O'Hare, https://www.flychicago.com/ord accessibility. For Midway, https://www.flychicago.com/mdw accessibility. Image 1, 3 blue accessibility signs. The first sign shows a taxi and bus icon with the text "Getting to and from." The second sign shows a wheelchair icon with the text "Terminal accessibility." The third sign shows a large question mark with the text "Contact us/additional resources." To connect with MOPD for disability-related questions or resources, contact us by phone 312-744-7050 or by email access@cityofchicago.org. Add us on socials at MOPD Chicago on X, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Visit our website at https://www.chicago.gov/city/n/dep/mop.html.